Hey, y'all need a break? Listen to these stories from r/EntitledParents. Entitled Parent tried to get me kicked out but instead landed me in the hospital. To start off, I have extremely bad anxiety to the point I am on medication to calm myself, and have been taken to the hospital because of my attacks and the harm to do to myself during them. And last year I got my dog, a type of Mastiff, Pinky, verified as a service animal and trained to stop these reflexes, as well as to warn other off attacks. She is licensed to be taken almost anywhere. My family traditionally does holidays at home, but last year in particular a lot of people agreed to go so we couldn't. Instead, we had rented half of a restaurant paid by myself, as I do have a job, and my mother, though she paid the majority because at the time I was making half what I do now. My brother, his sister, my dad, my mom, my stepdad, my aunt, my girlfriend, my grandma, my great-grandma and more had attended, but the one that caused the issue was my brother's new wife. I do not look anything like my brother as he has red hair and green eyes. I have dark brown hair and gray eyes, though my girlfriend had bright red hair, green eyes, freckles and even got lip injections recently. We joke she looks just like my brother if he were a girl. Mind you, I must say I prefer she/they, and beforehand said girlfriend was told he had a sister. The dinner had started nicely and everyone had ordered a special meal just for them, but the rest was an unlimited amount of food my grandmother had ordered ahead of time, and all of this was for Thanksgiving. My Tibetan Mastiff Pinky was sitting beside me sniffing me every once in a while. My brother's wife has 2 kids, one of which wanted to play with Pinky, to which I instructed, please do not distract her. She is working. Well, the kid didn't stop and eventually told his mother that the dog wouldn't play with him. To which she told me to stop being so stuck up, just let your stupid dog play with the kid. I informed her quickly it was not going to happen because the room was loud, and I hadn't gotten to take my medicine that morning. She scoffed at me and went back to eating only to start sneezing a little bit later. When my brother said bless you, she shot me a dirty look and said, it's her damn dog, the damn thing is shedding so much and I'm allergic. My brother was stunned and looked at me. My grandmother didn't seem impressed, but very reluctantly my brother told me, look, I'm sorry about this, but would you mind leaving? Or taking the dog outside? She said she's allergic. I was shocked, and to the rescue came my girlfriend. I'll take Pinky for now, love, enjoy your meal. I couldn't believe he had just gotten my girlfriend excluded from our meal but not wanting to upset my grandmother. I continued dinner. Halfway through, one of my brother's kids let out an ungodly scream and it seemed to have triggered something because I felt like I couldn't breathe. Every movement was pain and when I tried to speak, my hearing went dead. I began to cry and I saw his girlfriend staring at me but not saying anything. I began to choke on my food and eventually, according to my mother, I had passed out. And it took her 4 minutes of me laying there with my head bleeding from hitting it on the table, to say anything as no one else had noticed. When I woke up in the hospital, my brother was sobbing and my girlfriend was nowhere to be seen. My mother informed me of what happened afterwards, and turns out she had broken up with my brother because he yelled at her for waiting so long to tell us. And my girlfriend. She was at home with Pinky when I got back with my mom, and both just seemed glad to see me. This wouldn't have been such an issue if I weren't anemic, but I am, and even nosebleeds can be deadly for me. But I'm just glad now that my brother takes more care into who he dates, and that I finally got on a daily routine of taking my medicine when I wake up. I forgot to mention above, but we were not supposed to bring kids because this was for the teenagers and the parents. EM questions why I'm acting weird, then harasses me and demands my wallet for her baby when I tell her I have ASD. I am sitting on my bed fuming because I remembered this from a couple months ago and I just had to share it. Backstory time. I have ASD, so I tend to act weird under stress, but anyone who knows me understands it's normal. It was late September when this happened, so this story isn't quite fresh out of the oven. EM, entitled Mom, LK, little kid, me, well, me, NG, nice guy. Now for the story. I'm walking to my bus stop because I just finished school for the day when I spot entitled Mom waiting by the stop and little kid, about 9 to 10, looking at me. I think nothing of it and I stand by the bus stop waiting for the bus. A few minutes go by and I go on my phone because the bus is taking forever. Normally whenever I'm waiting for a while I shake one of my hands just to keep myself from being still. So while I'm waiting, I'm playing Candy Crush with my right hand and shaking my left hand. I hear the little kid walk towards me, so I lift my head up so he knows I'm paying attention. Here's the exchange. LK, hi. Me, hello, did you need something? LK, why are you doing that? For a second I didn't register what he said, but then I got what he was referring to. Me, oh, I usually do this when I'm waiting for something and it's taking a while. Sort of something to keep my mind off waiting, you know. LK, oh. I see little kid go back to entitled Mom and I go back to doing what I was doing. I catch a bit of the convo from entitled Mom and little kid, but I try not to eavesdrop. But they were talking a bit loud, so it was impossible. EM, Did you ask him why he's doing that with his hand? LK, yeah, he says it's just a pastime. I'm kind of shocked he knew what pastime even meant. EM, he doesn't have to do that, I'll go talk to him. Keep in mind, I could hear this, so I knew I was about to be ridiculed by her. She walks up to me and she starts to say something, but I turn away from her because I've seen enough stories to know where this is going. She didn't like this one bit. EM, you. Look at me. Now. Kind of an overreactive response, wouldn't you agree? Me. Sigh, what? EM, my son told me you shake your hand when you wait. Me, when I'm under stress also. My hand was still shaking, just so you know. EM, well, stop it. I don't do that when I'm stressed, so why should you? Both me and little kid look at entitled mom in dumbfoundment. Me, excuse me. EM, you heard what I said. You're putting a bad image on my son. What's wrong with you? What's wrong with me? I said in my head. Me, now slightly annoyed. I have ASD, ma'am. So if you would please leave me alone, I would appreciate it. At this point, people are watching us. EM, oh, I'm so tired of people saying autism is a real disease. It's from the vaccine. Everyone knows that. I am both fuming with anger and in awe of how mentally unstable this person is. Me, autism is a She cuts me off so abruptly, I step back a bit. EM, I bet you don't even have ASD. I bet you're just faking it to get your way. This is the point, I snapped. I pull up an article on the news that has a bunch of kids, including me, with autism sharing our experience of ASD. I then pull out my ID card showing I am indeed one of the faces of World Autism Day. If you didn't know, it's April 4th. Me, see any similarities, which? Entitled mom turns ghost white. Then she shakes it off by shoving me on the ground. I bruised and scraped my leg on the pavement. Me, what the hell was that for? What she says next will never leave my brain. EM, you're disabled so I can do whatever I want to you. Give me your wallet, you disabled freak. Karma incoming. NG, ma'am. What is your problem? EM, my problem. He was assaulting me and trying to get my purse. NG, I'm gonna stop you right there. He pulls out his phone, which had a video of her clearly harassing me and shoving me on the ground. Unless you want this to go to the police, I suggest you stop. EM, you photoshopped that. That's not me. Me, to NG, thanks. NG, turning to help me up, no problem. I hate people like her. EM then charges at me and drills her arm into my stomach. This time, I went flying into a shrub, so it didn't hurt that much on impact, but damn, it hurt bad. I didn't retain any injuries luckily. NG, okay, that's it. I'm calling the police. EM, what? But I did nothing wrong. Me, visibly bleeding from a cut on my face, oh really? Then how did this happen then? Entitled mom turns even whiter than before. She tries to run off with her kid who was sitting there in shock, but several people quickly grabbed her and kept her in place. The police arrive and nice guy tells them what happened and show them the video. They arrested the woman for assault and theft. I didn't realize it, but the witch had knocked my wallet out of my grasp and tried to run off with it. They ask if I want to press charges and I say no, but nice guy asked if he could, because he could see that I wasn't in the mood for it. After that, I got no word from anyone involved, which I am more than okay with. I wish this didn't happen to me at all. EM tells me my 14-year-old sister was asking to be harassed, gets roundly embarrassed. Hi everyone, I've known about Reddit and this sub for a while, thought I'd post my most interesting encounter with the alpha boss that is an angry entitled mom. Just for those who don't know. EM, entitled mother, EK, entitled kid, me, I wonder who that could be, S, sister, GF, my girlfriend, T, teacher, H, headmaster. I am on mobile, please be nice, on with the story. So I am 16, almost 17, and my sister is 14. We were raised by a single dad who is ex-military and firmly believes if someone starts a fight with you, then you should end it. I attend a pretty swanky boarding school in the UK, and there's plenty of entitled mothers and entitled kids running around, but are the sort of rich and don't realize they're a bit dense sort of people. Me and my sister are in separate boarding houses but see each other most days. I love my sister, and often feel the need to stick up for her. In the boarding house next to mine there is entitled kid. He is 17 and a very unpleasant young lad. He's not particularly bright as a student, but he's in the first team for rugby and is generally quite athletic. He's been known to be a bully for a while now, but he also seems to have a darker side, and many girls have accused him of making creepy comments and openly threatening them. Around the start of October our drama class began to do casting for High School Musical. Sister is absolutely obsessed with it for some reason, so me being the good brother and one of the favorite drama students, I literally take it as a scholarship. I managed to get her a role as a backup dancer, and she was really happy. Entitled Kid also decided he wanted a foray into drama, and was also cast as a backup dancer, since his acting and singing were questionable at best. This means he was working closely with Sister and the other dancers most of the time. No problem, right? Wrong. Sister tells me in the first 2 days that he was already getting creepy with her and some of the other girls, more concerningly, younger backup dancers. I talked with my girlfriend about it and decided the next day I'd have a polite word with him. I'm slightly autistic, so I sometimes need guidance on how to handle things like this. Next day when I went into the drama room, I clearly heard him say something which I will not repeat here to Sister and another girl. I walked up to him, already not in a fantastic mood, and said something along the lines of, "Don't you dare say that to my sister, or any of the girls here, you understand?" This which replies dead ass, or what? This next part I clearly didn't think through properly, but I said, "Well, I could either knock your lights out or get you kicked out of the play and the rugby team with what I've heard you say." Now, I'm about 6 feet, 135 pounds, and am by no means weak, but this guy is easily 6'3", 170 to 190 pounds, but nevertheless he grunts some agreement out and buggers off. I thought nothing of it and the play went off without a hitch. Cut to 3 weeks ago, and at 9 p.m. when our homework time ends, I decided to go out with my girlfriend to celebrate 8 months, and I'm so glad I did. We're walking behind the main school building when we heard someone clearly in distress. My girlfriend immediately went to find a teacher and I ran over to see what was going on, since at first I thought someone had tripped or something. I find Entitled Kid has backed Sister into a corner and is threatening her and shouting obscenities, standing in a very predatory stance. She's lying on the floor with a noticeable bruise on her face and sort of shouting in anger and pain. I immediately sort of grabbed Entitled Kid and started throwing punches. My only goal was to get this monster away from Sister. Now, despite him having size and most definitely strength on me, I quickly realized every time he hit me it didn't hurt so bad, but when I hit him he felt it more than I did. I attribute this to the fact I've gotten beaten up my whole life, mainly because people assume the autistic kid won't fight back, while this prancy little princess probably isn't used to being hit. Eventually I got him in a headlock, which I did maybe hold for a bit too long, and when I let go he didn't fight back, so I just got up and started kicking him. I'm not one of excessive violence, but something about this predator attacking my tiny, relatively defenseless sister, had me seeing red. Of course, in a case of very bad timing, girlfriend and teacher show up just as Entitled Kid starts to get the crap kicked out of him. Teacher naturally separates us, and gets us both sent to headmaster's office the following morning. Fairly enough, seeing that Entitled Kid is badly beaten and that teacher saw me kicking him, headmaster thought I was the aggressor, which also makes relative sense since Entitled Kid's disciplinary record is for the most part clean, and mine has a few fights on it. Entitled Mother, the queen witch with the Karen haircut, fake nails, and very fake ran skin, arrives and promptly starts to absolutely go back crap on me for assaulting her baby boy. I once again did myself zero favors by bellowing back just as loud about what a piece of crap her child is, all in front of headmaster. I couldn't care less either. As far as I'm concerned, Entitled Kid was about to sexually assault Sister, and this witch was defending him. At this point I was beginning to think that I could be in big crap. Fights aren't something my school appreciate, and I could maybe even face expulsion. That is, until my girlfriend and my sister show up, having asked headmaster to hear their side of the story, and claiming to have proof. It turns out Sister, the clever bastard that she is, had started recording on her phone while it was in her pocket when Entitled Kid approached her. Effing genius she is. The video lasted 7 minutes roughly, and was full of Entitled Kid threatening to sexually assault her, saying how she should fight back, etc., and ending after teacher showed up. At this point headmaster decides that our parents will meet with him about Entitled Kid's behavior and mine. My dad told me that Entitled Mother basically called me a menace to society, along with saying I should be kept away from the normal kids. Okay, which? I'm autistic, not psychotic. My dad was infuriated and said, at least I didn't raise a pedophile. Amid their bickering, headmaster showed them the video, or better, a black screen and some audio. Entitled Mother then tried justifying Entitled Kid's words by saying, well, the witch was asking for it, talking to Entitled Kid like that. I'm surprised my father didn't cave her skull in for that remark. In the end Entitled Kid has been expelled, after some other girls also told headmaster some of the unsavory things Entitled Kid has said and done to them. His mother has also been permanently removed from school grounds. She was a careers advisor apparently. My dad is proud of me, and my sister got pizza and will get a new computer for her bravery. She responded to all his creepy comments very insultingly. Brave of her. I should also mention Entitled Kid's dad is a charming fellow, also ex-military, and was shocked to his core by both his son's actions and his wife's response to the video. He has profusely apologized both to me and my sister, and has also said to my dad how remorseful he is that he didn't raise his son right. I thought it fair to add this just in case anyone thought he was like entitled mother. Just thought I'd share what was a very mad experience. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe and share your thoughts in the comments.